What's up? Total Control 871. What you guys feel like talking about tonight? I feel the usual, anxiety, depression, restlessness, exhaustion, want to sleep but you can't sleep, and the usual,
Hello.
no kind of
What's up, bro?
hold on a second.
No shame.
Hey guys, so somebody wants to be on the blog. Say hello.
Hey, what up? My name's Sean. Listen, let me tell y'all something here. Hi. Now, here's this. I just found out. Now, this is being real here. Time out, Blue. What kind of blog you doing?
Time out. Oh, I don't know who he was. But he came by and he saw me recording and he made a big deal about wanting to be in the blog. I thought it might make for some diverting, whatever. Something different. I try to keep it light for you guys. I do. I try to keep it light. As light as it possibly can, I don't want you to think that it's all gloom and doom. Even though it is all gloom and doom. But I try to put on a brave face. So our friend, hold on a second. Alright. So our visitor, he claimed his name was Sean Collins. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. Okay, so I think things are calming down a little bit more. I'm trying to, anxiety. It's a very, very peculiar. The anxiety and the depression, the way it mixes together, it will turn your mind into a type of sludge where it gets very difficult thinking. Considering all that I've gone through, I think I'm holding up about as well as I can. Okay, let me see. Tonight, I think we'll talk about the economy. Chilling here in our Walmart. I think I last referenced the cell phones, especially how it's just a fucking avalanche of the same question over in the McDonald's video. How can you be homeless with a... one thing that I don't know if it's comical or not, that nobody even wants to consider. How do you know I haven't stole this phone? Don't homeless people steal, How do you know I didn't steal the phone? But apparently, it's much easier for people to wrap their head around a belief that I am not homeless and that it's all just some big lie because, well, what can I say? People, they cleave to a stereotype of homelessness. You have to be, what was his name? Anton Jackson in Living Color. He comes crawling out the cardboard box on the street. A very, very cliche stereotype of what of what urban homelessness is. Anyway, I've owned several over the decades. I guess you call it expensive electronics. Anybody remember the Sharp Zaurus? Let's see. The Sharp Zaurus was probably the granddaddy of all of the... Who remembers Casio electronic address books? You kept your addresses and phone numbers in them and whatnot. You know, the Sharp Zaurus was like the granddaddy of them all. It fringed on being a word processor, a pocket word processor. The thing cost something like $500, and that was like in the early 90s, and man, so you know, cell phones, me, prepaid, first one to have one in New Jersey. So as I said, I was working here at this Walmart before it became a super center, and I come through the door, and I was not late that day. I come through the door, and there was a kiosk right there near the door from a company called Cell One. Cell One. This is none of your carriers that are out today were nowhere near in existence, okay? This place was called Cell One, and it was operating out of, well, I guess it had a building near where the Shore Mall it used to be called the Shore Mall. It's called the Harbor Square now. I think now there's a Dairy Queen, Wells Fargo Bank, some other stuff. It's like the whole complex has been broken up into multiple companies now, and I think there's a Dairy Queen over there or whatnot. But anyway, so they had rented obviously a kiosk space here at the Walmart, and they were selling their very first prepaid cell phones. Phone cost $300. Had to buy your airtime in blocks of 1 hour, $1 a minute to use. And I asked the woman, you know, when I went to inquire, you know, I checked it out first, you know, has anybody bought these things? Like, no, well, not before, because whenever she would check in at the corporate office there at the Shore Mall, and then she would come over here to the Walmart and set up shop, okay? And she would always check the sales ledger, and nobody had bought one. So when I bought one, I was the very first person to ever have a prepaid cell phone here in, hold on. He's back, guys.
Alright, this guy's talking shit.
Yeah, hold, don't cut it off now. So I'm talking about prepaid cell phones. I was the first one.
Yeah?
In New Jersey.
So I'm talking about paid cell phones, right? This phone costs $900.
Yeah.
The new fucking iPhone 10.
Yeah.
Ain't worth it.
Not worth it.
This guy right here. Listen, I'll drop my keys in there. Let's see if it comes out.
Serious?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
What's that? You see car keys in there? Car keys? No. Well, this sucks.
He said he dropped his car keys. Hold on a second. Okay, so our visitor is drunk and he's looking for his car keys. I'm sorry, I'm not in the, I'm not well enough to be society's hero tonight, so, I don't know, I guess maybe Hamilton Township Police will just have to, because I'm not really well enough tonight. I really need to focus on myself here, because I'm not well tonight. Anyway, yeah, $300 for the phone, $60 an hour, and there you go. Shortly after that, I mean, it didn't take too long at all for, I think Track Phone was the next phone to roll out, let me see, no. Before Track Phone started rolling out, Cell One could convert. So if if you brought somebody a cell phone, or not somebody, if you brought them a cell phone, and mind you, these the early cell phones were analog, like a lot of Motorola cell phones were out, and they would convert them. You know, they would do whatever it is they do to switch it over to be a prepaid, you know. And then shortly after that, you had your track phone, and whatnot. So, the point that I'm trying to make with all this is that, you know, something that was once held in reserve for for only the, you know, the upper crust. You had your epiphany. If we make this available to regular people, it will be tremendously lucrative. And oh my God, it was just a massive explosion. And well, we saw what happened. It eventually gave rise to the kind of cell phone that I'm talking to you on, the smartphone. And by the way, when everybody else, like I said, I've always been a little bit of a tech geek. It used to be anyway. When everybody was on those Ericssons and track phones and little rinky-dinky phones, I was using Sony Treos, you know, PDAs they called them. Before they were called smartphones, they were called PDAs. And Palm Pilots, you know, I had a lot of those phones. Anyway, yeah, so what do you call it? As far as contract, Sprint had a open enrollment, if you will. They took it to the next level. There was just like this window of, you know, we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck who you are. Just come, fill out the application, and we'll put you on a contract. Boom. That was about 20 years ago, and I've been with Sprint for about 20 fucking years. So, there you go. And I would hope that the real estate market has an epiphany, that if they were to make rent actually affordable and not just something that requires 2 and 3 low incomes, you know, two or three people with low income jobs just to rent one apartment, you know, whomever it is that owns all this, who's in control, you know, I do my best not to start talking the Jew talk and whatnot, but I've been giving that a lot of thought lately, and man, if you guys thought I was tinfoil hat Illuminati before, I'm really beginning to question if indeed it is the Jews who are pulling the strings on this whole real estate thing. I know that they're definitely a what do you want to call it? A general, a henchman. Their tendrils are in this thing deeply vested. Okay, that I do know, but I just got this eerie feeling that there is somebody, some entity that's even over them. Something that has to do with keeping, you know, a caste system, just like over in India. You know, our economy, remember, our American economy, it's very theoretical. This is evidenced in the McDonald's video where people are constantly questioning the fact that I've got a smartphone. How much do you think this phone costs? How much do you think it's worth? Nah, man, still don't got your keys.
Nah, they saying you do.
This is getting old. I'm trying to be cool here. Alright, this is becoming an issue. Make rent affordable. You know, follow the cell phone model. Make rent affordable. whoever you are out there that controls everything, just make rent affordable, all right? It will benefit you, you know, in the long run, all right? Total Control, 871.